two-time national solo champion from Australia in Phil Crumb. So Australia racking up the first and second place points at this point in time. By G, young Chris Watson looking very, very good indeed. Under the yellow flag he goes. Chris Watson from Phil Crumb back then to machine number 4, just trying to pick up might have been England's Gary Havelock. But just trying to pick up who's who out there at the moment. One rider looking straight over the left-hand shoulder to see exactly what was going on. But by G, a very, very good win indeed to Australia 4 there. That's Chris Watson from Phil Crumb. And I think in third place there would have been Gary Havelock. By G, the numbers appear to be a little bit hazy from up here. Wins time for the 3-lap journey was 1 minute 7.97. 3, England versus Australia, and England looking very, very good at the moment. In fact, that was England number 4 who won the last event. Now as they get underway, by G, the pressure goes right on as number 6 from Western Australia, riding for the Australian Test Solo team, Glenn Doyle, leads them away into turn number 3. By G, as this fella in hot form tonight takes a look over the left shoulder now. Glenn Doyle out in front now, flying the flag high for his from England. There is Peter Carr, 24-year-old Peter Carr in second spot, but it's all the local homegrown product in young Glenn Doyle, showing our English visitors how to do it on the different Claremont Speedway circuit at the moment. By G is having a good look around. Peter Carr's in second spot. Running to turn number 1. In third from Australia on machine number 5 is Troy Butler from Queensland. And unfortunately for England, the other rider has dropped down, but it's all Glenn Doyle. Looking good now, ready to rack up first place points for Australia. Here he comes, Glenn Doyle. Takes the win in devastating style over the 24-year-old Englishman Peter Carr for second on machine number 5, and third from Western Australia, from Australia from Queensland. Riding number 5 was Troy Butler from Queensland. Wins time was 1 minute 7.28.
Oh, mate, you better come down to South Round and join a real football team.
Okay. Heat 4, England versus Australia. On the line now from Australia, Phil Crumb and Chris Watson. From England, Neil Evans, the captain of the English side. And number 2 from England, Alan Rossiter. To get going as the tops fly off and racing now as they charge it. On the inside, Australia number 3, Phil Crumb, 3-time national Australian solo champion, leads the charge off turn number 2 and down the back straight away. And Crumpy, as he's eventually known, hailing from Mildura in Victoria, is doing what he knows best. Takes a peek over the left shoulder now as he charges down the big long straightaway here at different Claremont Speedway. In second place at Quinella at the moment, going Australia's way is Chris Watson from New South Wales. Down the back they go, right behind him there, Neil Evans, and then back to Alan Rossiter. But it's all Australia looking for those first and second points back on the board. At this point in time, Australia lead 10 points to 8. Australian solo test series between these two great speedway countries. There he is on your screen right now. From Victoria, Phil Crumb leads the charge down the back straight away into turn number 3 for the third and final time. And Phil Crumb from Australia is going to take the win in devastating style, second across the line. From Australia, on machine number 4 was Chris Watson, third for England was number 2. Alan Rossiter whipping them home in position for the English captain, Neil Evans. Wins time for the 3-lap journey was 1 minute 7.83. Heat 5 coming up now, solo test match series, first official solo test between England and Australia. For 1987 for Australia, Troy Butler and Glenn Doyle. For England, Paul Thorpe and Gary Havelock. Fly off and racing as the riders for Australia on number 4 is Gary Havelock. Absolutely blew out 2 as the riders locked up. Lucky man tight. Paul Thorpe from England around the outside to grab the race lead. Going into turn number 3, you can throw a blanket over these 4 riders. They charge off turn number 4, 1 down and 2 to go. Pressure is right. about to be brought out because this has been a go-to-way win as these two boys lock it up 1-2 from England. Number 4, Gary Hovlick, and number 3, Paul Thorpe. In third place was Australia 5, John Butler. Wins time was 1:08.27. Okay, when you're ready, Lloyd. Heat number 6 now for this great England versus Australia solo test challenge. There is Glenn Taylor, the West Australian champion, into a screen. Takes fly, off and racing now as the pressure goes on. First down the track, riding Australia, number 1. Hamilton, 3 abreast off turn number 2. Glenn Taylor now pressing out hard, gets carted wide by G as the pressure on out there. These boys are playing for keeps, running for their country. Taylor underneath, looks to get back in front now. The charges wide up. It's Peter Carr from England. One rider drops it going into turn number 1. But Peter Carr from Western Australia's Glenn Taylor, but he's not done with yet. Glenn Taylor looking to look for the half-track high run and get round the outside. Pressure still goes on with 1 lap to go. 571. Number 5, Peter Carr from Glenn Taylor. Back then to England's Andy Smith. Again, we see Glenn Taylor come back and Peter Carr from England. They run into turn number 3 for the 4th and final time. Taylor comes back at him around the outside. Oh, as they run for the wire. Very, very close indeed. England, number 5, taking out Peter Carr from Australia. 1 there. That is, of course, Glenn Taylor. And third across the line there would have been England, number 6, Andy Smith. And the wins time for the 3-lap journey was 1:07.96. Bet 8 now on the program here at Difference Claremont Speedway. Sidecar handicap, the brave bit of Speedway over 3 laps. And by G, this is the Thunder and Lightning Brigade here at Difference Claremont Speedway for the 87-88 Western Australian Speedway season. These boys have been absolutely setting the track alight. Handicap this one, as you can see them spread back right up the race straight away. Takes fly off and racing now, and by G off the back goes Dennis Nash and Jeff Gillock. Let's pick them up as they work their way through Pittsburgh from the first out of 3 times and down the back straight away. By G is right on Joey Drummond and Johnny Baker out there with number 15 Ralph McQueen. They come off scratch positions 1 and 2 now. We'll pick them up as they run down the way straight away. Out in front, number 7, Joey Drummond and Johnny Baker. Nashy coming from the clouds. Started off from the 80-metre mark and is really starting to car through. Look at the action. There goes Jero Joyce on machine number 24. He looks to get through on the inside now as the boys charge hard. Here comes Nashy. Dennis Nash and Jeff Gillock on the low line. Absolutely unbelievable sidecar action here at the National Capital of Speed. Different Claremont Speedway as Jero Joyce, and would you believe it, Dennis Nash, and there they are. Dennis Nash and Jeff Gillock already from the 80-metre mark have got into second place as they run for the wire. It's young Jero Joyce out in front with Kenny Rydiger in the chair. And Joyce takes it out. Dennis Nash and Jeff Gillock. The second place third across the line was number 7, Joey Drummond and John Baker. What a run from Dennis Nash and Jeff Gillock from 80 metres behind to get up and take second. Wins time for the 3-lap journey was 1:16.44.
That would have been a great move. The last one, well, the last one, 24.08. Okay, everybody's had 2 rides now. And he said, England versus Australia for new board. At the moment, on 3 points, for England, Neil Evans, their captain. Ross will lose up to 1 point. All 4 on 2 points. Gary Havlock now on 6 points. Riding so far, unbeaten. Peter Carr on 5 points and Andy Smith on 1 point. And gives the British.
Go. At 7 now, England versus Australia. The first official test match series on the line in this 4-rider heat consisting of Troy Butler from Queensland and Glenn Doyle from Western Australia for Australia, and from England, Neil Evans and Alan Rossiter. Atmosphere electric here at Different Claremont Speedway. If the tape was in third place because the action was all happening out in front. Wins time for the 3-lap journey was 1 minute 08.08.
World-class solo action. Australia #1, Scotty Fisher gets his ride. WA out there, doing it for their country.
Well, as we go into heat number 8 now, England leading Australia. 22 points to 20. Very, very close indeed now. Heat number 8 coming up and having his first ride for Australia. The young 17-year-old from Perth in Western Australia, Scott Fisher, riding under Australia 7. Glyn Taylor out there on Australia 1 from England. Paul Thorpe on 3 and number 4, Gary Havelock. Scotty Fisher in third place, but here comes the Englishman now on number 4, Gary Havelock. But it's Western Australia's Glyn Taylor out in front, charging hard now as Havelock gets high, white and handsome, running down to the line, first time out of 3. Back then to Paul Thorpe from England, and the Englishman really starting to show the stuff that they're made of out on the different Claremont Speedway circuit at the moment. World-class solo action. He leans over the back of the bike now. Glyn Taylor looking to get through and see if he can get his bike up there in front. On machine number 4, Gary Havelock. Back then to Glyn Taylor. Coming at him is Paul Thorpe. Back then to young Scotty Fisher. And the Englishman showing just exactly how strong their team is as they run off Piss Bend for the third and final time. England, the victors. Gary Havelock takes the win on number 4 there from Australia 1, Glyn Taylor. In third there was Paul Thorpe on bike number 3. Wins time for the 3-lap journey was 1 minute 7.19.
Absolutely brilliant.
Number 9 on the track now as they blast out of the tapes. A bit of work to do. First out there for England would have been number 5, Peter Carr, but we've got Phil Crump, Chris Watson in second and third place at this point in time. That won't be enough for them because 3 points for the win, 2 for second and 1 for third, and the Australians were looking to see if they can... Out in front, Peter Carr from England. In second, Phil Crump. In third is Chris Watson. And Crump now. Crump, he starts to pour the pressure on Peter Carr from England. Sits about 4 or 5 metres up the concrete curve as they go under the yellow flag. 2 completely. Out in front. Crump looks for the outside run now on Peter Carr. Oh, gets up very close indeed as they charge down the back straight away. Crump not done with yet. Peter Carr out in front. Chris Watson still in third as they run for the wire. As Phil Crump got through. No, he hasn't. Oh, what a race. England, number 5. Peter Carr taking the win there from Phil Crump from Australia, number 3. In third place was Australia 4. Chris Watson. Wins time for the journey was 1 minute 7.68. By G is going to be one heck of a race. Scratch start, 7 abreast across the starting tapes. Number 29, Mark Roth and Mick Ford there on that beautiful blue and white gear. Have a look at them too. They're 7 of the bravest outfits in Australia today. Set for a start, green lights on, and a couple of the boys getting very, very keen indeed. See the tape's broken there, but providing they haven't gone right through the tapes, they will be allowed to restart because offending riders normally when they break tapes are scrubbed out of the event. There's Clayton Mills having problems with the machine and just constantly walking it back over to the infield. Get a start this time as the sidecar to Braybanner Speedway blast out once again. He's trying to pick up who's who as they run into turn number 1. Gee, have a look at the traffic out there as they charge down the back straight away. We'll pick them up as they get a little closer to our commentary position. You can see Nash and Giddos there, but they're back in back in second is Dennis Nash and Jeff Giddos. Have a look at the action out there. The boys and girls working overtime because we've got a young lady swinging chair for our race leader. number 97, Russell Mitchell and Tina Karen. And Tina, there she is, hanging right over the side of the road. Machine number 29 is Mark Robb and Mick Ford. 2 completed, 1 to go now, and Nash and Guinness have got their hands full. The former 3-time Australian sidecar champions now start to really come, and Russell Mitchell and Tina Karen, but they've got the pair on also. Number 97, Russell Mitchell and Tina Karen take the lead. Across the line of machine number 29 was Mark Robb and Mick Ford. What a sidecar race. Oh, Dennis Nash there, not very happy at all too, as he's shaking the fist and looks as though he might have got carted up into the wall. Wins time for the 3-lap journey was 1 minute 12.58.
Green lights are on, the tapes are off and away and racing, and Neil Evans jumps out of the trap that time, but Glyn Taylor grabs the lead with a paralysing burst of speed. Scotty Fisher up in second place as they move out of turn number 2 and down the back straight. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, now get behind as Glyn Taylor leads in front there, and Scotty Fisher in second place. Absolutely mind-boggling at the moment. Out of turn number 4 and down the main straight. Out in front and going very hard is Glyn Taylor. Scotty Fisher back to Neil Evans and Alan Rossiter. An absolute turn-up for the books. The West Australians 1 and 2 at the moment. It's out of turn number 2 down the back straight. General John Day grabs the yellow flag. 1 lap left to go as they move out of turn number 4. The race leader, Glyn Taylor, down the main straight. Come on, West Australian Speedway fans. Second place, Scotty Fisher. Back to the English captain, Neil Evans, then back to Alan Rossiter. But there's an absolute turn-up for the books as he moves down the back straight. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. 350 metres left to go, and it's Glyn Taylor from Western Australia representing his country tonight as he moves out of turn number 4 across the line as Glyn Taylor first, Scotty Fisher second, and back in third place is Neil Evans, then back to Alan Rossiter. But come on now, down the back straight, ladies and gentlemen. 5 big points. The fastest time tonight, a 1:5:47. 5 big points for Australia, and the war is well and truly on Des Austin.
Oh, you reckon Scotty Fisher didn't go to town that first one, Con? He's got the butterflies out of the stomach. He's out.
11 after a devastating heat last time out now, with Australia racking up 5 big points, and England 1 would tie up the points table once again. Heat 11 coming up now with Australia's Phil Crump and Chris Watson up against England's Paul Thorpe and Gary Havelock. Gary Havelock, England number 4, has had 3 rides for 3 straight wins, is going to be the boy to watch in this one. Oh, throttles up now, smoke starting to pour skywards now as the riders all concentrating on the tape. Brilliant shot here. Might have them too as one rider breaks the tape. Red lights come on. The restart. 8-11 coming up now, the first official England versus Australia solo test series. And after that last devastating heat, Australia won 2, picked up 5 points, England 1. So the point score all tied up as we go into heat number 11. Australia, Phil Crump, and Australia, Chris Watson, up against England's Paul Thorpe and Gary Havelock. Good clean start this time as they blast out of the machine number 3, the boys absolutely flying out on the Devon Claremont Speedway. Just had the interval break, the track has been regraded, and you can see now as the boys slip and slide off turn 4 down the main straight away. Phil Crump from Victoria. Very high. Gary Havelock in second place. Behind him there is Chris Watson, so Australia running first and third at the moment. Putting them up is England's Gary Havelock, unbeaten so far on the night, but he's going to have his colours lowered this time, I should say. Phil Crump. Australia looking good for the major part of the points at this point in time now. 3 big points coming up. As young Chris Watson goes underneath. England's Gary Thorpe as they run. Gary Havelock, I should say, as they run to the line. Phil Crump, Australia first. What a race. Absolutely unbelievable. Australia's Chris Watson second. Third, England's Gary Havelock. Fourth to Paul Thorpe. Wins time was 1:04.88. I'll tell you what, Ted, so far, John Wilson's out there. All set now for heat number 12. England versus Australia, and Australia some 2 points in. Number 7 for England, Sean Wilson. Oh, got away beautifully as they run down and sets it up on the back wheel. Oh, have a look at this now as Glennie Doyle from Western Australia gets through on the inside. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Troy Butler from Australia also now 4 runners. In the wins time of 1 minute 5.85, and the pace really starting to work itself right up in this, the first official solo test series between Australia and England for some 5 years. All-Star Soka handicap coming up now over 4 laps. Riders spread right back in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. What a race we have here. Boys from the back got some work to do. Flashing out the screen with the Nash and Geddos combination. They run very, very hard down the back. Have a look at the traffic now as it punches right up Lucky Bandside into turn number 3 on turn 4. Tony Garden, Craig Holland there sitting in second spot looking for the way through on machine number 21. Looks as though they've found it through on the inside. They have Tony Garden, Craig Holland straight into the race lead now into lap number 2. From the back, Nash and Geddos looking for a way through, but there it goes Team Arcade. Craig Holland out in front. Action of plenty back further in the field there as they're ducking and diving, looking for a way through to the race lead, but have a look at this, out in front of machine number 30. Tony Garden, Craig Holland doing a great job, getting about 10 feet off the concrete curb. Oh, looking for a way through there. Machine number 06, Graham Bone and Johnny Selwood, 3 completed, 1 to go. Have a look at this now, Tony Garden, Craig Holland out in front of Mark Rover, machine number 29 with Mick Ford in the chair. But Tony Garden doing a brilliant job. Craig Holland across the line on 06 was Graham Bone and John Selwood. Wins time for the 4-lap Soka handicap journey was 1 minute 38.92. Heat starting to run out now for the Englishman as Australia now enjoying a 6-point lead as we go into heat number 13, England versus Australia solo test match here at Diffin Claremont Speedway in Perth, Western Australia. Australia, Crump and Watson from England, Everton, Rossiter as gates fly up, off and racing. Oh, and very, very quick into stride from Australia. Chris Watson from New South Wales, Phil Crump from Victoria, the 2 Australians. 1-2 as they run down the back straight away into turn number 3. Underneath the wins timing clock now as they're pretty well Indian file coming off turn number 4. Nose to tail solo action. Here at the National Capital, Phil Crump from Victoria. Riding for the Australian team from New South Wales, Chris Watson. Back then to Andy Rossiter and Neil Everts. And the Australians looking to rack up 5 big points over England's 1 should they finish in 3rd spot. John Day for the yellow flag, 2 completed, 1 to go, and that brilliant riding style of the legendary Phil Crump. out in front, absolutely flying on the raceway. Right behind him and doing a good team job is Chris Watson from New South Wales. Now underneath the wins timing tower, John Day for the double checkered flag. Up goes the Australian flag, and there goes Phil Crump and Chris Watson to make it an Australian Quinella. Across the line in third was machine number 1, Neil Evans. Fourth across the line, Alan Rossiter. Wins time for the 3-lap journey. More big points to Australia was 1 minute 06.16. When you're ready. Well, heat number 14 coming up now for this unbelievable test match between Australia and England. Heat 14 here at Diffin's Claremont Speedway. And Australia, after getting a 1-2 now, have stretched the lead out to some 9 points. Off and racing, heat number 14 now. Time starting to run out for our English visitors, but first out and going like a jet is from Western Australia, Glenn Doyle. One rider coming very, very fast indeed from the outside. May have been Paul Thorpe from England. Pick them up now as they get a little bit closer. But in the bright pink helmet, taking a peek around was Western Australia's Glenn Doyle. Run down the main straight away. In second place on machine number 3 was Paul Thorpe. Back then to Troy Butler, then to Gary Havelock. In fact, I think that's Gary Havelock in third place now as they charge into pits bend for the second to last time. Starter John Day for the yellow flag. 1 lap, 571 metres left in front of them. And it's Glenn Doyle looking for the maximum 3 points. He is absolutely flying out there. Paul Thorpe in second. Troy Butler, Australia, called it incorrectly the lap before, is in third, and fourth at the moment is Gary Havelock. First and third Australia, second and fourth England. Out goes the checker, up goes the Australian flag, and across the line goes Glenn Doyle for the maximum 3 points. In second for England was number 3, Paul Thorpe. Third across the line was Troy Butler from Queensland, and fourth to Gary Havelock on number 4. The wins time for the journey, fastest time of the night, was 1 minute 05.30. When you're ready. Heat 15 on the line now, and the situation getting pretty desperate for England. They need some big points. They need them quickly, and first out on number 5 for England was Peter Carr. The 24-year-old now is one rider around the outside. Trying to pick up who that was. Peter Carr got the whole shot first out of the gate. Let's have a look at it now as they run onto the main straight away. Glyn Taylor from Australia, riding Australia number 1 now, has got his nose in front. The West Australian solo champion is absolutely blitzing this field. Didn't get the best of starts, but has moved out the race lead and pulled away some 8 to 10 metres. And looking good for those first place 3 points on the line now. Glyn Taylor, son of the legendary Chum Taylor, who was a master here at solo racing some years ago. In second place there is number 5 for England. That is Peter Carr, back then to Western Australia's young 17-year-old whiz kid in Scotty Fisher, but it's all Glyn Taylor. Run for the wire, up goes the checker, and up goes the Australian flag. Glyn Taylor takes the win in brilliant style. From England's Peter Carr for second, third was Scotty Fisher, fourth across the line for England on bike number 6 was Andy Smith, and the wins time for the journey was 1 minute 05.99. Hang on. Oh, off and racing now, Top Star Sidecar handicap now as they run very, very hard down the back straightaway. The Brave Men of Speedway strutting their stuff out there at the moment. Oh, and on goes the pressure as two riders lock horns into turn number 3. Off turn 4 they come down the 21 bike in front of, who is it, McQueen, number 15, Ralph McQueen, looking for a way round the outside, and by gee, the pressure is on right from the word go. 3-lap journey, Top Star Sidecar handicap, and McQueen straight round the outside, grabs the lead in the all-black machine and gear now as the 21 machine up very, very high indeed, but straight into second place goes Mark Roth. In hot pursuit goes Graham Bone and Johnny Selwood looking for third spot. Have found it on the inside, but Mark Roth and looking for a way through on the inside, couldn't find it. His bike has quit. Ralph McQueen out in front. Looking very, very good. Calls the bike the McQueen mud brick. And by gee, it's not going like a brick at the moment. McQueen takes a hand on the handlebars, takes the win from Clayton Mills. Third across the line on machine number 06 was Graham Bowden and Johnny Selwood. Brilliant sidecar action here at Difference Claremont Speedway. In the wins time, 3 laps, 1 minute 15.75. Heat number 16 on the line now for what has been, up to this point in time, an absolutely brilliant exhibition of world-class solo action. Heat 16, England versus Australia. For Australia, Butler and Doyle. For England, Everts and Rossiter. Heat 16, out of 18, off and racing, and Australia enjoying a 14-point lead after trailing by some 4 points at the halfway mark. And straight into stride goes Western Australia's Glenn Doyle in the bright pink helmet. Has charged to the race lead. 2 riders locked in combat for second spot. Oh, one motor there, as you can see, just drifting off the screen, has exploded into a big heap of flame. Alan Rossiter from England takes over second spot. In third on machine 5 is Troy Butler. And Troy Butler from Australia around the outside moves into second place. Oh, world-class solo action. Australia running 1-2. Glenn Doyle first, Troy Butler in second. John Day for the yellow flag. Bad luck for the Englishman to run into machine problems. 6 leads 5 for Australia. Glenn Doyle from Troy Butler. But by gee, this has been a brilliant solo exhibition from young Glenn Doyle, just back after a season racing in England, and really showing his worth here tonight as he charges to the finish line. Checkered flag and the Australian up. Glenn Doyle, another big win. In second spot on machine number 5 was Troy Butler, and in third place for England on machine number 2 was Alan Rossiter. Neil Everts, unfortunately having the machine problems in the first lap of that race, but 5 big points. 5 big points for Australia. Wins time for the 3-lap journey, certainly starting to get quicker down here at Perth's Diffin Claremont Speedway. 1 minute 06.51. There's Scotty Fisher. You right to go? Heat number 17, second last heat. This all-important first official solo test match between England and Australia, I should say. Heat 17 for Australia, Glenn Taylor and Alan Rivet. And from England, Paul Thorpe and Gary Havelock. 4 riders to contest heat number 17. 1 more heat to go, but Australia enjoying some, I think it'll be about a 17-point lead now, trailing by 4 points at the halfway mark, but have come back very, very strong since the track has dried out and been regraded, and the boys really starting to hit their straps now and combining together very, very well as a team, more importantly. Number 7 with the hand up there would be from Australia. Then coming in for Alan Rivet is in fact Scott Fisher from Western Australia, the young 17-year-old. You can see the master, Mick McKeon, in the light top and green pants there, a very, very comfy solo rider who has just retired from the sport. A 4-time Lawson Medal winner, the fairest and best award for speedway competitors here in Western Australia. And Mick McKeon is the Australian manager of the solo test team. Getting brought up to the line now. The 2-minute warning siren has sounded. And get 2 minutes from the time it first sounds to the second sounding of that siren to front up to the line. And if you don't, too bad. Here we go now. Action, atmosphere electric now. Green lights on as the tapes fly up, off and racing. Let's have a look at it this time. And first out there on the outside was Gary Havelock, machine number 4, but Clint Taylor from Western Australia starts to pour the pressure on the race leader. There's first and second on your screen right now. And Clint Taylor goes up high, wide and handsome, looking for more drive as though they run wheel-to-wheel action here at Dillon's Claremont Speedway. Absolutely brilliant. Gary Havelock in front from England, in front of Western Australia's Glenn Taylor, who's got a little bit of work to do yet. But Gary Havelock take nothing away from this young Englishman now. Taylor, using all his track craft, goes up high, wide and handsome. Looks for the run round the outside, ducks it underneath, looks to go on the inside. Take the line away, he does. Moves into first place. Havelock back underneath him, but Clint Taylor has got his measure this time. Oh, the Australian fans going absolutely bonkers here at the National Capital of Speed, different Claremont Speedway. Clint Taylor runs for the wire and takes the win from Gary Havelock from England. Third from England on machine number 3. What a race it was from Paul Thorpe, whipping them home, the young Western Australian in Scotty Fisher, but Clint Taylor taking the first place, 3 points in the wins time of 1 minute 5.89. That was a beauty, wasn't it, mate? Righto. 18th and final heat on the raceway now for England versus Australia. Up to the line they come, and Australia got this one wrapped right up at this point in time. They've really come to grips with the situation since the halfway mark at heat 9. Off and racing now, we're looking for Bill Crump, and away goes Crumpy there on machine number 3. Wearing the number 3 best plate, right with him there from Australia is Chris Watson. Running 1-2, back to the Englishman there in Peter Carr and Andy Smith. Let's have a look as they work their way through turn number 4 and fire the machines down the big long Claremont straightaway. Phil Crump from Mildura in Victoria leads this one. From the young superstar from New South Wales, Chris Watson. Challenging him is Peter Carr, back then to Andy Smith. They run down the back straight away now as John Dale go for the yellow flag, but it's Phil Crump, former 3-time National Australian Solo Speedway champion, a man of many, many years of international solo experience, been a world finalist. Number 4 in second, the up-and-coming Chris Watson, back then to Peter Carr and Andy Smith from England, but Australia going out in the 18th and final heat in a blaze of glory, really nailing the coffin of the Englishman now, but it's all Phil Crump going across the line to take out the 18th and final heat from Chris Watson. In third place was Peter Carr, fourth to Andy Smith, and an absolutely brilliant series coming to conclusion there in heat number 18, with Australia taking out a very, very convincing win in the first official solo test match series between England and Australia. The wins time for heat number 18, the final heat, was 1 minute 6.37. I think it's going to do the presentation, I think, for Australia, you know.
Crump, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Phil, I tell you what, 1 year out of British Speedway hasn't dampened your appetite for Speedway. You were absolutely superb tonight, and I'd like to congratulate you for the way that you led Australia tonight in a magnificent performance of real true Speedway.
Thanks very much, Con. Yes, 12 months out of Speedway laying bricks makes you very keen, I can assure you. So, you know, I'm looking forward to going really well in the series, and so are the rest of the boys. I just, at the interval, I said that, you know, I thought we'd come back, and we got together and we really did it well.
Phil Crump, ladies and gentlemen, the young man from the Gold Coast, and by gee, he's got a golden future. Let's hear it for Troy Butler, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, Troy.
Thanks very much, Con. I'd just like to thank everyone for coming. You know, without you people, Speedway wouldn't be Speedway. I'd like to thank Con for inviting me over. It's the first time here, and I've enjoyed it. It's been really great.
I wish your dad, Vic, was here tonight, Troy, because he would have been really proud of the way you rode, son.
Yeah, I mean, he's right behind me, Speedway, with all my family, you know, and he really would have enjoyed it. Yeah.
Troy Butler, ladies and gentlemen. Well, hi, gee. If you'd been here at practice yesterday, there was absolutely no way in the world this guy was even going to get on a motorbike. But tonight, 15 big ones. Let's hear it for Glenn Taylor, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Glenn, I tell you what, you can have tomorrow morning off. But congratulations, Glenn.
Thanks very much, Con. To the rest of the guys in the team, it's a great effort. To Mick McKeon, he led us superbly. He directed us all night. And once again, the unsung hero, Graham McKeon, gave us so much advice. The whole team was a tremendous effort from the boys, and I hope I've personally done enough to get a Guernsey on the East Coast in the Australian Test team. Thanks.
Glenn Taylor, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I told you about this young guy. I said to him he's pretty hot, and by gee, he was red hot tonight. Let's hear it all the way from Newcastle in New South Wales. Chris, a great show tonight. Chris Watson, ladies and gentlemen.
I'd like to thank Con, Claremont Speedway for bringing me over here. I know it went to a lot of expense. I'm very glad I came, and I can't wait to come back. Thank you.
Chris Watson, ladies and gentlemen. Well, another young man, and by gee, he had a fall early in the night, but he just showed what great grit he's got. Let's hear it for Glenn Doyle, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Glenn, congratulations. A mighty performance tonight, son.
Thanks a lot, Con. I'd like to thank everyone for turning up here tonight and witnessing this such a good test. I'd like to thank Con and Claremont Speedway for having a test here again. It was great. My sponsor, Robin Cox, and Dave Crawford from Shell Glengarry. And thank you to my father, who's always behind us. Thanks.
Glenn Doyle, ladies and gentlemen. Well, as I said to you earlier tonight, he's only a young fella, but by gee, he's got a great future in Speedway. Come in as number 7 tonight and did a mighty job. Let's hear it for Scotty Fisher, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, Scott.
Thanks, Con. I'd like to thank the crowd who came to different Speedway tonight. I'd like to thank Castrol, True Track and Pacemaker Marine. I'd especially like to thank the Australian team for such a good effort, and I hope to see everybody back next meeting. Thanks very much.
Scotty Fisher, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for Alan Rivet. Alan, it's great to have you back home again, son. Wasn't your best night, but by gee, you must be proud of the Aussies tonight.
Yeah, they put on a great show, and congratulations to them, and I'm just sorry I couldn't support them that well tonight, but anyway, that's the way it goes. Thanks to Shell Oils and also Bike World for where we did our bikes today, and thanks, Con, for bringing us over, and sorry.
Alan Rivet, ladies. Now, what about 3 cheers for Australia? Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Mick the Master, come over here, Mick. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. He was a great rider, and his first time as a team manager. Don't tell me you're going to retire after that one. But Mick McKeon, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, Mick.
Thanks very much, Con. Thanks, everybody. Well, I think you must agree, everybody, that everybody in the Australian team tonight's done absolutely first class. I'd like to congratulate Phil Crump on being captain tonight. He led the team well. Glenn Taylor did a marvellous effort. Young Scotty Fisher, when I called on him, he did very, very well. And all the rest of the guys, absolutely marvellous effort. And what a fantastic start to a test series. Thanks for your support, everybody. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Mick the Master McKeon, ladies and gentlemen, and the Englishman, Eric Bucock. Where are you, Eric? Eric, a wonderful show tonight. Bad luck to the English boys, but you fought real hard, and I suggest to say that before the end of this series, a lot of people will certainly know a lot of these Englishmen.
Well, thanks, Con. I hope you've all enjoyed it. The boys have certainly enjoyed it. Unfortunately, tonight we got beaten by the wrong choice of rear tyres. Unfortunately, we thought we had a regulation, and when we got here, we hadn't got a regulation, but it's a pity we haven't got another test match here with the right tyre, because I think then we'd do a lot better. But we hope you've all enjoyed it. We've enjoyed being here. We hope you've enjoyed having us, and thanks very much for your support.
Eric Bucock, ladies, and what about 3 cheers for the Englishman? Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. There they are, ladies. and gentlemen, the mighty Englishman, Neil, a fine job tonight as captain, and I'm sure that we're going to see your name up in the big lights of Speedway. The captain of England, ladies and gentlemen, Neil Evans.
I'd like to congratulate the Aussies on their triumph today. I think it's going to take us a couple of weeks to settle on the different tracks, and I think that the rest of the series should be good, close races.
Neil Evans, ladies and gentlemen. Now, fellas, will you please do a lap of honour? I'd like to remind you that tomorrow night at the Albany Speedway, you'll be able to see the English and the Australians matching there. And remember, next Friday night is the Charlie Carter's Internationale with speed cars, sprint cars, sidecars. It's going to be a fabulous night. Make sure that you're here bright and early. Remember, this season's made for you, and when you come to Claremont Speedway, make sure you bring someone to hold on to. Thanks, Des.
Thanks very much, Con. How about it, ladies and gentlemen, as the boys go round the track? Put your hands together for the Aussies. Come on round there in Fowl House Corner. You're the great fans of solo racing. Come on down the back straight. Salute your champions, the Australian solo team.
Speedway, they line themselves up now to get the action fired right up before we head into the Charlie Carter's Solo Internationale for season 1987-88. Engines rev, tapes fly off and racing now. Vet number 2 out of the gate now. First out of the traps, so number 21 there was Stephen Tull and Mark Evans. Jerry Joyce from near the back too, got a good start, moves into about 5th spot. Coming out of turn number 2 as they work their way down the back straightaway for the first time into turn number 3, and look at the traffic on the raceway. Oh, absolutely brilliant now as they come off turn number 4. Could be Stephen Tull and Mark Evans, number 21, out in front. Absolutely flying out there in front of Kevin Allison, Neil Johnson, Jerry Joyce. Oh, goes for the doctor underneath now. Looks for 4th, then 3rd as he comes off turn number 2. Oh, the fella on the outside tried to fight back, but Jerry Joyce, man in the hot seat, gets it sideways. He locks it up into Fowl House Corner. But out in front, what a great job he's doing. Stephen Tull, Mark Evans enjoying about 30 metres out in front, and Joyce already in the second spot now. He's got less than 1 lap to do it. Johnny Day just displayed the yellow flag. Down the back straightaway, down past the indifferent signers. Jerry Joyce is not done with yet. 250 metres left to go as they come through Fowl House Corner for the 4th and final time. But it's all Stephen Tull, Mark Evans, Jerry Joyce on the inside. Run for the wire. Oh, brilliant sidecar action as number 21, Stephen Tull, Mark Evans took it, I would say, by half a bike length from Jerry Joyce and Ken Reinecker. Brad didn't get third. I was watching that battle there. Would have to be the McQueen brothers, I think.
In 3rd, Chuck?
Yeah.
Could have been Clayton Mills, I think.
Clayton Mills wasn't. I was just looking at what Jerry Joyce was doing, but that was absolutely unbelievable. Wins time up there for the 3-lap journey was 1 minute 14.11. And 3. Heat 1 of the Charlie Carter Solo Internationale to take you through it. Here's Brad.
Thanks very much, Chuck. Well, officials on the back straight. Officials on the back straight. We've got a fuel cap somewhere on the track. So if officials on the back straight there, if you could look for a fuel cap which has come off down the back straight. Well, the riders coming up to the line now, ready for heat number 1 of the Charlie Carter Solo Internationale. And star-studded lineup, and there he is, number 1, Glenn Taylor, ladies and gentlemen, in the Dayglow orange helmet. Don't forget to cheer for these riders. They're out there doing it for you.
Come on, there must be a few Glenn Taylor fans out there. He can hear you. How about putting your hands together for Glenn? He's out there busting his stomach for you tonight. The big one, the Charlie Carter Solo Internationale. Brad, I'm sure he's going to do it.
I hope so. Well, he's got a point to prove, hasn't he? Robbie Woofenden out there too. Number 10, very big welcome back to Ian Diffin, Claremont Speedway for it. We're just about set to go for heat number 1 of tonight's big action. Oh, and Taylor, beautiful gate as they go into turn number 1 for the first time, and it's going to be Taylor who rockets straight into the lead. But fighting back on the outside there looks like Peter Carr and Gary Havelock as they go down the back straight, but it's Glyn Taylor out in front at the moment. Look at the challenge coming up now, back in second place, past the wins time clock, out of turn 4. Taylor hugs the curb. Who's the rider on the inside? It's Havelock. Black number 6 as they go off the end of the back straight now, and Peter Carr's moved up there too. So past the Ian Diffin sign, out of turn number 2, down the back straight they go. In fact, Taylor's dropped off the pace. It looks like Peter Carr's gone into the race lead. Peter Carr riding brilliantly at the moment. Out of turn number 4, goes to get the General John Day with the yellow flag. So just one lap to go. So it's Peter Carr leading. Then we go back to Taylor. Good battle going on now for the minor placings, and I see Havelock starting to move up there. Down the back straight for the final time. Well, the English said that they're going to turn the tables tonight. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Peter Carr from England, bike number 6, takes it out. Glyn Taylor in second place. Then we go back to bike number 2, and that, of course, was Peter Thorpe. But brilliant ride there by Peter Carr. Came home and, oh, have a look at the time, Chuck. Very, very fast. It was a 1:5:52.
Boys are hot to trot out there tonight, Brad, that's for sure and certain too, and I think Glyn might be just sitting back having a good look at what's going on. Are we recording? Off and racing now, and the first one to jump out of the gate that time was Neil Evans. Back in second place is Glenn Doyle. As they move down the back straight, it's Neil Evans from England out in front as they move past the Diffin sign for the first time and fly into Pitts Bend. Absolutely brilliant solo action. Out of turn number 4 and down the main straight. The English captain out in front, Neil Evans. Back in second place and going hard as Glenn Doyle. Back to Andy Smith and then further back to Sean Wilson. Absolutely brilliant solo action. Phil Crump up in 5th place at the moment as they thunder down the back straight. Absolutely mind-boggling solo action here tonight. The national capital of speed. Out of turn number 4 and Neil Evans is absolutely burning. The yellow flag's out. 1 lap left to go at Claremont Speedway. Back in second place and going hard is Glenn Doyle. Back to Andy Smith and further back to Sean Wilson. Phil Crump completely off the pace as they move down the back straight for the last time. Absolutely brilliant solo action as Neil Evans, the captain of England now, moves out of turn number 4 and goes across the line. First in second place and going very hard. Number 8 from WA, Glenn Doyle. Back then to number 4, Andy Smith from England. And the wins time for the 3-lap distance was 1 minute 6. They're ready to go now, mate. The tapes fly up and the whoops, and no, there's a red light. There's a red light, so the officials will be calling them back for a restart. Doesn't get it fixed by the next race, not to worry about riding, all right? Alan Rossiter, all right? Thank you. Getting ready now. Heat number 3 of the Charlie Carter's Solo Internationale. A brilliant start as Glyn Taylor rears in the air, but Glenn Doyle grabs the start. The West Australian ace is out in front. Second place and going very hard indeed is Gary Havelock as they thunder down the back straight. Glenn Doyle leads in second place. Is that young Havelock from England, then back to Glyn Taylor. Out of turn number 4 and young Glenn Doyle is absolutely burning. Down the main straight he goes. Glenn Doyle out in front. Glyn Taylor's grabbed second place. Then back to Sean Wilson. Absolutely brilliant solo action here tonight at the national capital of speed.
speed. WA's Glenn Doyle is absolutely burning as he throws his bike sideways into Pitts Bend, grabs a fistful of Westlake and thunders out of turn number 4 and down the main straight. The yellow flag's out. 1 lap left to go. Glenn Doyle out in front. Gary Havelock's in second place. Back there to Glyn Taylor in third place, and then forget about the rest of the field as they move down the back straight for the last time. It's number 8, Glenn Doyle from WA, the Australian team representative, as he moves out of turn number 4, the double checkered flag, and goes across the line. Glenn Doyle first, Gary Havelock second, back in third place and going very hard indeed. That rider there was machine number 14. That was Andy Smith, and the wins time for the 3-lap distance was 1 minute 6.5. Phil Crump. Righto. Heat number 4 of the Charlie Carter's Internationale. No, they've let it go. That's an unbelievable thing that happened that time. But that's the way Speedway goes as they move out of turn number 2 and down the back straight. Absolutely brilliant action here as Paul Thorpe leads the first team of riders into turn number 1 as they move out of Pitts Bend. 1 lap down and 2 to go, and there's plenty of action on the raceway. Down the main straight they go. And really brilliant racing there as number 7, Neil Everts out in front. Back to Andy Smith, back to Phil Crump. But very unlucky for the other young rider sitting on the side of the fence. He looks like he blew a clutch, but they move into Pitts Bend, and Neil Everts, the English star, is absolutely burning up the raceway. Out of turn number 4. Well, this man, Captain England this year, won a British title, never went too well at Claremont last week, but by gee, he's really made amends tonight as he thunders through the top turn. Out of turn number 2 and down the main straight, there's plenty of action on the raceway. Neil Everts out in front as General John Day waits with a double checkered flag as they thunder out of turn number 4 and down the main straight. Neil Everts on machine number 7 first, back in second place and going very hard indeed on machine number 2. That rider there was Paul Thorpe, and back in third place on machine number 3, Phil Crump from Western Australia, and the wins time, an enormously fast time of 1:3:50. Righto, you ready? The Charlie Carter's Internationale, Solo International, 5 laps. Heat number 5 and away and racing as Glyn Taylor jumps from the gate again, but then he's very quickly overturned by a man who's absolutely on fire tonight. He's already broken the race record once. That's Neil Everts, the captain of England. Absolutely burning as he moves down the back straight into Pitts Bend. Gary Havelock's in second place, and you can forget about the rest of the field. Out of turn number 4 and down the main straight, Neil Everts is absolutely having a field night. Back in second place is Gary Havelock, then back to Glyn Taylor, Paul Harris, the young West Australian star, as they move out of turn number 2 and down the back straight. The track is super slick and it suits the English stars. Into Pitts Bend they go for the second last time. Neil Everts out in front, Gary Havelock still in second place. General John Day waits for the yellow flag. 1 lap left to go, but it's out into the foul house corner for the last time. Neil Everts, a copybook ride. Absolutely world class, in an absolute class of his own tonight as he moves down the back straight for the last time. Number 7, the captain of England, Neil Everts. Gary Havelock on machine number 14 in second place, but they move out of turn number 4 and down the main straight. Neil Everts first, Gary Havelock second, then back to number 1, Glyn Taylor from Western Australia. Number 17, Paul Harris from WA, and the wins time 1:8:33. All right, mate. Yep. All right, mate. Thanks, mate. In the hands of the starter now for heat number 6 of the Charlie Carter's Internationale as the first one to jump out of the gate. Oh, terrible action there as the Englishman knocked Glenn Doyle straight off his bike. That rider was Andy Smith, and that was not very good tactics at all. Well, the Englishman did some very desperate riding. He knocked Doyle from the machine, and, well, they are really getting back at the Aussies tonight. They said during the week that the Aussies were looking for it, and Andy Smith showed no respect whatsoever, and a little bit of a word of advice for young Andy Smith. If he's going to ride like that in Australia, he is going to find himself in one lot of trouble, because, believe you me, the Aussies won't cop that again. Emil, tell him we've got to keep the show. Get onto Eric Dyson and tell him not to let him stop like that again. Get him straight back to the gate. Start the race, all right? Thanks, mate. Ready for the rerun of the heat number 6 of the Charlie Carter's Internationale. Up and racing, and the first one to jump out of the gate that time was Andy Smith, then Sean Wilson, then further back there to number 2, that's Peter Carr as he grabs the lead as they move out of turn number 2, and the Englishmen are absolutely on fire. Down the back straight, Peter Carr throws the bike sideways into pit spin. That's brilliant solo action. As they move out of turn number 4, Andy Smith, some roughhouse man at the moment. He's off the planet. Absolutely brilliant solo action from Peter Carr. Back in second place and going very hard indeed on machine number 6. That rider there is going hard, but by gee, there's no doubt about Andy Smith. He's the wild man of the raceway. Plenty of action as they move through pit spin and out of turn number 4. Peter Carr leads in second place and going well as Paul Thorpe. Then back to the wild man Andy Smith. But they move in towards Ballas for the last time. There's no doubt about the English riders tonight. They are absolutely burning down the back straight for the last time. Peter Carr leads them into pit spin, and Paul Thorpe's in second place, but they move out of turn number 4. Peter Carr goes across the line. A brilliant win that time as Peter Carr, Paul Thorpe in second place, and then back there in third place is Andy Smith, and the wins time 1:69. Now grabs the leader. Look at this for roughhouse sidecar racing. Woohoo! Woo! Absolutely no place for the weak at heart here at Diffin Claremont Speedway. Reckless Russell Mitchell leads down into foul house corner for the first time. Then Tony Gutt. Oh, look at Clayton Mills. Oh, brilliant sidecar action and great riding on behalf of Tony Gutt that time as they move down in towards Pittsbend for the first time. And by gee, Russell Mitchell's burning up the raceway. Mitchell's out in front, going hard as Jero Joyce. Then back to big Clayton Mills, and then further back in fourth place is Dennis Nash. But Russell Mitchell and Tina Karen are absolutely burning up the raceway. Into foul house corner and out of turn number 4. The white flag's out, 1 lap left to go. Reckless Russell Mitchell and Jero Joyce are locking handlebar to handlebar into Pittsbend for the last time, and this is absolutely World Championship Speedway. Out of turn number 2 for the last time, Russell Mitchell and Tina Karen with 300 metres left to go, and Jero Joyce throws everything at him. But out of turn number 4, and the crowd have gone wild. Out of turn number 4, Reckless Russell Mitchell first on 97, back to 24, Jero Joyce, then number 9, Big Clayton Mills, and number 13, Dennis Nash, and the wins time for the 3 laps, and what a sidecar race, was 1 minute 11.71, and that was world class. Whew. I've got to ring Adelaide anyway, Luke, because I'm an Australian selector and there's a bit of a problem in Adelaide with the selection. Event number 12, heat number 7 of the Charlie Carter's Internationale. Green lights are on, they're away and racing, and Phil Crump jumps from the trap that time. But oh, look at the Englishmen, they're absolutely burning at the moment. It's out of turn number 4, Glyn Taylor grabs second place. But machine number 2's out in front and absolutely burning us. Paul Thorpe. Paul Thorpe and poor old Phil Crump struck a bit of a mechanical problem, but they move out of turn number 4 and down the main straight. Paul Thorpe's out in front. In second place is WA's Glyn Taylor. Further back in third place is Andy Smith, and back there to number 6, the Englishman. And then Phil Crump bringing up the second last position. But down the back straight, Paul Thorpe is absolutely burning. Into Pittsbend he goes. Glyn Taylor grabs second place. He's hanging on with Andy Smith fighting hard. Out of turn number 4 and down the main straight for the last time. Absolutely brilliant solo action. Paul Thorpe out in front. Glyn Taylor back to Andy Smith. But you can forget about the rest of the field. But down the back straight for the last time is brilliant racing from Paul Thorpe, the young Englishman, as he moves out of turn number 4. General John Day waits for the double checkered flag across the line first. Back in second place is WA's Glyn Taylor, and back there in third place was Andy Smith, and he did a mighty job on machine number 4, and the wins time 1:5:58.
The Charlie Carter's Solo Internationale. Riders burst away from the tapes. Oh, one rider very quickly into stride. I think that was Neil Everts, it was. Oh, brilliant solo action as they move out of turn number 2, go down the back straight, and it's Neil Everts. Well, the captain of England last week, he was out to prove a point tonight, and that was to fight back and let the English riders dominate this Charlie Carter's Solo Internationale, and that's exactly what they're doing, because Neil Everts has moved straight into the lead. In second place there is Gary Havelock. Then we go back to bike number 12. That's young Sean Wilson. So it's England, 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. Back there in about 4th place, I think that is Doyle from Western Australia. As they move out of turn 4, get the yellow flag. Just one more lap to go. In fact, back there in 4th place is the English rider. That's Robbie Wolferton. So the English riders absolutely dominating this event number 13, heat number 8 of the Charlie Carter Solo Internationale as they move out of turn 4 for the final time. Neil Everts is going to win another heat. Brilliant riding by him. That's 4 wins from 4 starts. Brilliant performance. In second place, Gary Havelock. Then we went back there to bike number 12, young Sean Wilson, the 17-year-old English rider. Robbie Wolferton, our new resident rider, and the time was a 1:06:39. Riders coming up to the tapes now for event number 15. This is heat 9 of the Charlie Carter Solo Internationale, and star-studded lineup We see Glenn Taylor and Phil Crapp representing Australia, and the points leader at the moment, Neil Evans. And it's Evans from England who's gone straight into the lead. Oh, brilliant piece of riding. Out of turn number 2, getting ready to go down the back straight, and the English solo captain, Neil Evans. Boy, did he say that he was going to come back with a vengeance tonight, and that's exactly what he's doing, because he's whipping them all home at the moment, because the Australians can't get within a cooey of him. Off the end of the main straight he goes. Neil Evans is our race leader. In second place there, fighting with bike number 12. That was young Sean Wilson, but moving through on the inside, I think, was Gary Havelock. Bike number 14, but down the back straight they go once again. Neil Evans at the moment is our race leader. Past the time clock they go, showing a very quick lap time. Onto the main straight, so it's Evans leading with bike number 6 in second place. That is Peter Carr. He's come from nowhere. Good piece of riding by these two English riders at the moment. Have a look at Peter Carr. Well, is he giving Neil Evans a workover at the moment, but they race for the double checkered flag, and it's going to be Neil Evans who's going to win it just. In second place is Peter Carr. Brilliant riding by Peter Carr. Then back to young Sean Wilson. That was a good performance by him. Gary Havelock and Glenn Taylor very close for the minor placings, but gee, there was no doubt about the battle for first and second. Neil Evans wins from Peter Carr, and the time was at 1:06:13. Riders getting ready now for event number 16, the all-important heat number 10 of the Charlie Carter Solo Internationale. Oh, up go the tapes, and gee, one of the riders blasted away from the outside. That was young Glenn Doyle from Western Australia, but it's bike number 2, Paul Thorpe, 21 big points at the moment, lying second in this big classic, the Solo Internationale. But have a look at Glenn Doyle back there in second place. That was a brilliant piece of riding as he lifted the front wheel. Down the main straight he comes. So it's Paul Thorpe leading at the moment. Doyle back in second place. Then further back to bike number 5, which of course is the injured rider. That's Alan Rossiter. He's riding with a broken collar at the moment, but down the back straight he goes. Into turns number 3 and 4, and it's Paul Thorpe, our race leader. In second place there is Glenn Doyle. Then we go back to the injured Alan Rossiter. Just one more lap to go, but Paul Thorpe is going to chalk up 6 big points at the moment, because he is riding brilliantly. Doyle's back there in second place. Great battle going on for the minors, but it's going to be Alan Rossiter, I think, who's going to hang on for third place, but there's no doubt about the race leader and winner of event number 16, heat number 10. And that, of course, is going to be Paul Thorpe. In second place, that's Glenn Doyle. Then we go back to Alan Rossiter. Further back there to bike number 10. That was Robbie Wolferton, the resident English rider here at Claremont. And the time, very fast indeed. In fact, have a look at it. It's equalled the track record tonight. That was a 1:05:30. Riders almost set to go now for event number 21, the Sidecar Stars Handicap. Have a look at Stephen Tull and Mark Evans, number 21, off the pole position. There they go. Oh, big pack of sidecars now, getting ready to go to turn number 1. Have a look at the battle already as they spread eagle. Oh, trying to move through there, back into third place. That was the McQueen brothers, and that, of course, was Ralph McQueen out in front. But have a look at the sidecars, burning up the raceway at the moment. 21, Stephen Tull and Mark Evans, our race leaders. Back there to Pete Fotheringham. Swinging chair for him is Andy Marshman. But the McQueen brothers riding brilliantly at the moment. Look at the sparks fly. One of those riders is just trailing the foot back there, and that's the reason why the sparks are flying. Oh, moves through on the inside there of bike number 21, which was Stephen Tull and Mark Evans. So number 15 almost into the lead, but Tony Guard has rocketed through on the inside. Good riding there by his passenger. That was Craig Holland. So Tony Guard and Craig Holland, our race leaders. Down the back straight they go now for the final time. The checkered flag getting ready to come out, but there's no doubt about our race leader. It's going to be number 30, Tony Guard. Craig Holland is going to win it. In second place will be the Beagle Boys, the McQueen brothers. Further back there, oh, good riding by Dennis Nash, but had to be content with fourth place because Pete Fotheringham and Andy Marshman got up there for third position, then back to Dennis Nash, and of course Jeff Giddos. The time was a 1:11.68. You get a different aspect of it when you're up here, amongst the Coke cans. Riders now just about set for the all-important final of the Charlie Carter's Solo Internationale. And anxious moments there for some of the world's finest speedway riders, including a couple of riders there from Western Australia. Oh, off they go. Have a look at the riders blast out of the tapes. And straight around the outside there was number 7. That is Neil Evans, but fighting the way through on the inside was Taylor. Also Doyle, so it's the Western Australian riders. Oh, but have a look at the rider from the back, the Englishman, Neil Evans. Oh, brilliant speedway action at the moment. Moving out of turns number 3 and 4. Onto the main straight with 1 lap down and 2 to go, and the action certainly on for young and old. Neil Evans has fought his way back up into front. Black number 2 in second place as they move down the back straight now, and oh, through on the inside goes the rider number 2, and that of course is Paul Thorpe, the man who was the second highest point scorer going into this all-important final. So Neil Evans has gone very wide. He's back there in second place. General John Day shows the race leaders the white flag, signifying just 1 more lap to go. That's Paul Thorpe. He has a look around his shoulder just to see exactly where the opposition is. And Neil Evans is back there into second place. Then we go back to Glenn Doyle and Glenn Taylor. But as they move out of turn number 4 for the final time, there it is, Paul Thorpe. It's an upset. The English rider takes it out. In second place, Neil Evans. Then we go back to Glenn Doyle and Glenn Taylor. Brilliant speedway action. Oh, very fast time too. But there's no doubt about it. Have a look at the 2 English riders congratulating each other down the back straight. That's Paul Thorpe in the red and white. And in the black and white there is Neil Evans, with the West Australian riders also going up to congratulate them. But there it is, the very, very fast time for 3 laps. The final of the Charlie Carter's Solo Internationale. It was a 1:07.44.
Yourself and obviously the rest of the promoters for putting on the meeting, and I just wish that we would have had this meeting first and had the test match this week, because I think it would have been a different result. Thank you very much.
Neil Evans, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much to Charlie Carters for their fine support. And remember, next Friday and Saturday night, the big sprint cars burn up the racetrack when 15 top international and interstate stars will do.
And in third place, with 24 points, was Glenn Taylor from Western Australia. Come on, I can't hear you putting your hands together for Glenn Taylor. Come on, you can do better than that. He had more than his fair share of problems earlier tonight. Great stuff, Glenn, and great news that he has been now has been selected in the Australian Test team, and rightly so. On 21 points was Glenn Doyle from Western Australia. Great job from Glenn, who had the misfortune to drop the model in an earlier heat, which cost him a lot of points, of course. On 20 points was Peter Carr, and on 18 points was Sean Wilson. But a great win for Neil Evans, too, with with 5 wins in a second. Come on down the back straight away. Let's give him a big, warm Western Australian round of applause for a great job he did out there tonight in taking out the Charlie Carter Solo Internationale here at Diffin Claremont Speedway. An absolutely great effort that he has done, of course, along with all the other English riders since they've been in Western Australia for the last 2 Friday nights. We wish them all the very, very best, of course, as they head over to the east coast of Australia for the remaining Australia versus England Test Series. And by gee, that's going to be an absolute beauty, and I'm sure we're going to keep a very, very close eye on that. Come on.
Well, the sidecar is just about set now for their final event of the night. This is the sidecar handicap feature. It's over 4 laps and a very big field of sidecars getting ready to burn up the racetrack at the moment. Geez, they've been putting on some absolutely mind-blowing action. Great shots there by the cameraman from King West. Well, Clayton Mills wasn't happy. I'd say that the clutch started to burn on the bike and started to overheat. So Clayton Mills and Mick O'Hare have had to do another lap to get in another quick circuit just to get themselves back in their proper handicap position. Here they come, just about in line. Have a look at the big field of sidecars getting ready to go racing. Dennis Nash blasts away well from the back of the field. But out there in front at the moment, it's Ian Henderson and Ian Jawson as they go into turn number 1. Have a look at them. About 4 or 5 wide as they race on down the back straight. Now, Tony Gard was trapped out wide. He's got to be content with about 4th place because Peter Fotheringham's in front of him. Andy Marshman working hard. But at the moment, it's number 20 still out in the front. That's Ian Henderson. Ian Johnson back there into second place now as the McQueen brothers. And that's Ralph and Pedro, but right around the outside. Oh, the McQueen brothers going to the race lead. Down the back straight they go. Looks like Peter Fotheringham's also going to follow into second place. Oh, then the split got taken further back through the field. But as the sparks fly, the McQueen brothers, onto the main straight they go. They are leading at the moment. In second place is Tony Gard. Then back to number 9, which is Clayton Mills. That's where all the action is at the moment for second and third. Racing down the back straight. Plenty of excitement, a very big crowd. Being well and truly treated to some brilliant sidecar action. But our race leader is still the McQueen brothers, but the lights have come on. We've got some riders who have come off. In fact, it was Dennis Nash, Jeff Giddos. They came off in the middle of Pitt's corner. Both riders are okay. There they are. Both riders standing up. The bike, I think, lost complete control. Jeff Giddos is okay. He was the one waving. Dennis Nash has already taken off his helmet. I'd say that the bike expired, or they came to grief rather badly through the turn, but they look like they're okay. Bill Wern there, the official pit marshal. So it looks like the sidecars will have to contest a restart shortly. Gee, they were late with the lights. That's terrible. This handicap final, a feature final over 4 laps. We had a bit of a race accident in the first time this race tried to get underway, so this is the restart, and have a look at the bravest man in Speedway. The sidecars as they turn on the action. Well, the McQueen brothers are back there in second place. That's Ralph and Pedro McQueen. But Peter Fotheringham tries to force his way through on the inside. Oh, breathtaking sidecar action now as they move out of turn number 4. And still Ian Henderson, Ian Johnson out in front. That's bike 20, but right around the outside. There goes the leg-trailing McQueen brothers with Ralph McQueen at the controls of bike number 15. Down the back straight they go. They'll go past Ian Henderson on this occasion, and they go over to take the race lead. Into second place now. Looks like that's either Graham Bone or Jero Joyce will try to pick it up. In fact, it's Jero Joyce and Kenny Reinecker. So it's going to be a battle royal for first and second at the moment, because Jero Gero Joyce and Kenny Reinecker. They're brilliant sidecar riders. Oh, just about lost control of their sidecar on that occasion. Had to button off just a little. Clayton Mills, Mick O'Hare, they move straight into second place. Oh, the action's on for young and old. Out of turn number 4. Onto the main straight they come. General John Day ready with the yellow flag. Just one more lap to go for the sidecars. There goes Clayton Mills. Mick O'Hare through on the inside. Fighting back there is Gero Joyce, Kenny Reinecker. Down the back straight. Well, you could throw a blanket over these two sidecar combinations at the moment. Oh, Clayton Mills is still the race leader. And Mick O'Hare, the passenger, swinging brilliantly. They go across the line, put the fists in the air. They know they've done it. A brilliant 4-lap race with Clayton Mills. Mick O'Hare winning it. In second place, Gero Joyce, Kenny Reinecker, and the McQueen brothers go back into third place, but that was sensational sidecar racing, and there's the time for the 4 laps. It was at 1:35.29.